Nothing I can do. If you don't want to put lotion on your hands, there's nothing I can do. Is that supposed to be my fault? You want me to lotion your hands, Queen?
Anywho,
You want me to?
no.
Oh, go ahead. Do the intro. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live the best life through the lens of holistic health. My name is Sinclair Walker, aka
The
Health Nerd.
Uh-huh.
And as usual,
Come on.
I am here with my chocolate.
That's me.
Delicious. Deep voice.
Ooh.
Suave.
Talk to him.
Handsome.
Yes.
Co-host.
Ooh.
Creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
That's me.
I kind of stole your thunder there, so my bad.
You all good. But what's going on, people? I'm Devon Truvel, and I'm happy to switch this. I see why you like going second.
It's nice, right?
Yeah, you get a nice little bump up. We go ahead and switch that every week, every other week, something.
I feel like normally I would have liked to prepare for that, but it kind of just rolled.
No. Yeah, it worked out. The chocolate, delicious, all that. Keep it. Well, that's in the script. But what's going on, beautiful people? So before we get into today's topic, I want to, and it feels weird on this side because I feel like I usually say so much more. I'm just like, I'm just going right into it. That's awkward. But interesting. So I didn't tell you the story yet. I sent you the text on privilege drafting, and then you were like, oh, what's the story? And I was supposed to tell you, but I'll just tell you right here while I'm telling everyone else. So I was going to Sacramento. They were renaming the UC Davis Welcome Center after the late and great Walter A. Robinson, R.I.P. to the King. So I was going up there for that ceremony, and I was running a little late for the flight. Okay, and I got there. I'm like, okay, ooh. They boarded at 7:45 or 6:45. It was 6:50, and I was in the security line. The flight was leaving at, I think, 7:30 maybe, right? So in my head, I had a little bit of buffer time, but it was cutting it close, and I was waiting in line patiently. I was gonna do my thing. I was gonna wait. If I missed it, that's my fault. I should have been there early. This young man comes up to be behind me. He's like, excuse me, my flight is boarding right now. Do you mind if I cut you? And a light bulb went off. I had never thought to ask people if I can pass them to go through the security line. And I was like, I don't mind you passing me if I can go with
Could
you.
I ride your coattail?
Yes. If I could go with
shoulder
you.
to shoulder.
100%. If I can go with you, we're good. Let's go. And he was like, sure. Like, doesn't matter to me. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go. So he was showing people like, oh, sorry, I got to go. And I was just going right behind him. Yeah. Well, he said, yep, we going.
We got to go.
And then we get to another black woman in line. And he's like, excuse me, I got to go. My flight's boarding right now. Do you mind if I pass you? And she does the same thing I did. She was like, yeah, mine's boarding too right now. Can we go too? And he's like, hey, I'm not tripping. So it's us three just scooting down the line. Oh, excuse me. So then we get to the front, and literally I barely made it. Like, they were calling my name. Last call for Devin Walker Reed. And I come up. They're like, are you Devon or Devin? I was like, yes, I'm Devon. Like, okay, cool. Go ahead. So yeah, I barely made it. Long story short, how it segues into today's topic is I feel like there's a certain quality of life, and I feel like there are certain things that wealthy people or people that have privilege are comfortable doing because of their wealth and because of their privilege that even me, like, I don't feel comfortable doing because I'm not in a position of privilege, right? I'm not in a position of being used to having wealth to where I'm used to being like, oh no, if I want to cut you in line, I'm just going to ask you and you're going to let me cut in line because that's the right thing to do, or I deserve to get there in time. So it connects to wealthy habits because there's literally things that y'all can be doing that we can be doing on a consistent basis in order to live a wealthy lifestyle today. Right? No matter how much money you have, there are wealthy decisions, wealthy habits, wealthy tips and tricks that you can do now that will help you live that life of abundance later on. So we're going to kind of go through that a little bit. If y'all have questions, feel free. If y'all have other wealthy habits y'all think that we should be doing, definitely make sure you drop in the comments. Queen, are you ready?
I'm ready. But are you ready for some podcast?
All right, we're out. Yeah, I feel like when you were singing, it looked like the Titanic scene. No need to try to hit that note though. But so two quick definitions before we get into it. I think wealth is always kind of like a very general topic, and even the definition is also, honestly kind of general. But I wanted to give y'all at least the definition that we're going off of from our homie Merriam-Webster. Right? Have we established that we're friends with this person?
Oh, is that what we've done?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we were like, oh yeah, Miriam.
Because we're on the first name
Yeah,
basis.
we're on first name basis,
So
right? So definition of wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money, right? Or money. I feel like we usually go to, oh, if you're wealthy, it's because you have a lot of money, but it's valuable possessions. And the thing that I also like about this definition is subjective. Right? What's valuable to you? If you have a lot of amazing people around you, if you have healthy food around you, if you have books everywhere, then you can consider yourself. You can make the decision to say, I'm wealthy because I have these things around me, right? Not because of how much money I have in my bank account. Queen, it seems like you have something.
Oh, I think that's kind of what was coming up is like, oh, and then that it depends. Like, there's not one definition of wealth. What's wealth could mean a bunch of art. It could mean a whole bunch of friends. It could mean a lot of different things. So I think it is really a mindset. I feel like it's whatever you choose to put around you in abundance.
Right. So I'm going to ask you to answer this question as well, but I want listeners and watchers out there to think about this. If you could be wealthy with any possession, what would you want to be wealthy with? Right? If obviously money, if money is your thing, cool. But it says valuable possession. So what would you want to possess that makes you wealthy? Some things that are definitely on my list. I love black art, and I feel like I'm wealthy in black art. Like I have an abundance. Literally, there's too much art for the walls that we have. Books, literally. Books is another thing that I love to be wealthy in, and I think being wealthy in loving relationships, right, which is one of the seven riches that Napoleon Hill says. But yeah, loving relationships I think are great, just having those great people to pour in. Queen, how about you? If you can choose to be wealthy in things, any possession, what would you choose?
So one of them that I thought of was like quality relationships, loving relationships, like fruits and vegetables, and like it was like, yeah, you can make whatever you want. Like, so I feel like, like not, I don't want to say food, but like healthy food that you can, like the source for like making different dishes and sauces and all that type of stuff.
Agriculture, farming, or use fruits and vegetables specifically?
No, like it could be agriculture, farming, all that. But just whenever I wish, whatever I wanted at the time would just here's some wild caught salmon
out of you could get wild caught salmon.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You said wish.
Yeah, you're right.
Opportunity.
A wealth of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I feel like ideas are one thing, but I feel like to me the opportunity is the next thing. The opportunity to make whatever you want happen. That would be cool too.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I feel like a wealth of opportunity stresses me out personally, but
that's true, and I'm indecisive. Never mind. That would be a
very,
lot.
Very stressful for me personally. But if you want it,
hey, you can do this, but you can have this. You can have this. Ah!
Yeah, that gets
just roll the dice.
Literally stressful. But the next definition, so that's wealth. Number 2, we're talking about habits, and I see we got 3 folks in here. Much love. Thank y'all for tuning in live. Feel free to put your questions, your comments inside of Facebook or YouTube. We can give you a shout out.
What would you want abundance of if you could? You had a magic genie, and we just read the definition of wealth. It's abundance of something, valuable possessions. What would you want to be wealthy in? Drop it in the comments.
Boom. Thank you. Next definition is habits, right? So today we're talking about wealthy habits of the wealthy. So a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice. A settled, regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up, right? This can be, it doesn't say it in here, but it's positive or negative, right? There's obviously bad habits and there's good habits. Having the audacity to ask the cut in line, neutral. I don't know if that's good or bad. But you know, waking up at a certain time, doing exercise every day or every other day, what you choose to put in your body, like all of those are practices that you're doing sometimes on a subconscious basis. Like sometimes what we choose to eat, when we choose to wake up, like we're not making that conscious decision. It's kind of on autopilot sometimes. Queen, anything you want to add to habits before we jump on into it?
No.
All good?
Yes.
Cool. So we're about to go into it. Again, feel free to put in your comments, but wealthy habits. Number one for me is setting your intentions. Right? I feel like wealthy people do things on purpose. It's not just things are just happening. It's like, no, this is the plan, and I'm going to manifest. I'm going to plan now. I'm going to be strategic about these steps so I can accomplish this outcome.
Right.
I'm on the fence about that only because I think I've getting into a point to where I'm only thinking about the future and I'm planning too far ahead to where it can be like, okay, I'm not understanding or I'm not appreciating the present. But I think in some form or manner, the wealthy and the successful people are doing strategic plans for their life. Period. Right. Some of that.
I feel like you can set your intention and still live in the moment. So, right. But knowing that whatever you're doing in the moment is still on your path to get you wherever you want. But that doesn't mean you have to be sitting in the moment thinking about what you're trying to accomplish, right? I feel like once you've really set the intention and you've grounded in it and it's become a part of you, you don't necessarily need to be thinking about it 24/7. Right. So I feel like that's just what you need to work on. Is like, okay, yep, intention is there, but I'm focused in the now.
Yeah, I think breathing has helped me with that and some things that we'll talk about later. But in setting your attention, some things that we've been doing since 2018, I think, since PH, is setting your annual goals, your annual promises, like from yourself or from the people around you. What is it that you want from this year? Right? It can be health related, it can be business related, professional related, love related. It can be whatever, like you're setting your intentions for that year. And then something that we've also started doing maybe this year, I know myself a little bit, you've done it on a daily basis, but having like your annual goal, your monthly goal, your weekly goal, and then your daily goal, right? Like literally you have that big audacious goal that you want to accomplish for the year. You want to sell 1,000 board games. You want to get 5 health coaching clients. You want to start a film company, like whatever it is. Beautiful. Now, what are the small things that you need to do every week in order to accomplish that goal at the end of the year? Right. You good on setting your intentions, my beautiful bride?
Yeah, I need to get better at the goals. I feel like I do annual and then I do daily. I don't really do anything, in between. And I think the accountability call that we're on is helpful because usually at the beginning of the week they say like, oh, what's your weekly goal? But they always catch me off guard because I never have something prepared. And so I'm thinking of it. But I mean, it's still forcing me to think of it. But that just tells me like I'm not in the habit of creating a weekly goal. I'm really just like, okay, I need to get this done. What am I doing today? So I feel like I need to do like the in between.
Right. I think that like we started doing this with Truvel Forever as a team, right? We set our Q4 goals, and then in between there's like little incremental goals that we're trying to accomplish, and then we have our 5-year vision that we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's definitely helped me target what I should be doing, because I know there's always new ideas, there's always new opportunities, but it's like, no, this is literally what the team is working on. So Devon, don't be selfish. Right. If you decide to do this other thing that's not in the list of goals that the team has agreed upon and we're all working towards, you're literally being selfish because you're not putting the time in to the collective vision.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
No. So that's definitely helped me. So for you all, create your list of intentional goals, whether it's a family goal, solo goal, or individual goal, or a company goal, and then stick to it. Yeah. Right. So we do have some tips and tricks. If we can, are we there yet? Yeah. Let's go ahead and throw up that graphic on tips and tricks. We'll go through these quickly. I did a whole workshop on these and got some good feedbacks. We wanted to bring the wisdom, the wealth over to here. So number one, every day, right? And if you're waking up and you don't have the time to do it, then wake up maybe 15 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier. Write down one tangible goal that's going to help you get to that long-term vision or goal that you set for yourself. This can be for entrepreneurship. This can be every morning I want to kiss my wife. This can be every day I want to talk to a family member. Every day I want to do 3 push-ups, like literally whatever you think is tangible that you can accomplish within 24 hours and is going to push you closer to your goal. Number two, this workshop was being done for 9 to 5 entrepreneurs that were trying to start their business. So this may not apply 100% to you, but if you are working a 9 to 5 and you want, go ahead, Queen.
Even if you're not trying to start your business, you can still learn something on your lunch break. So don't completely tune out if you're not an entrepreneur.
Facts. So use your lunch break if you're working a 9 to 5 to learn something. Literally get a book, read 1 page, right? Watch a YouTube video for 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. But use that lunch break while you're consuming that fuel, while you're consuming that food. Also consume some good information that's going to help you for your long-term vision or for your life. All right. Number 3 is set your business hours and most importantly, clock in. Queen, you want to talk about how business hours have helped us a little bit?
Yeah. So for us, I feel like, again, when you're working a 9 to 5, you have your hours. Usually, which you talked about 8 to 5, don't know why it's called 9 to 5. Typically 8 to 5 or whatever the hours are, and you know that you have to be working during that time. But when you are trying to accomplish any goal outside of that, you don't have set hours to do so. So you need to set them for yourself. Okay, I'm going to do this, accomplish this goal from this time to this time today, or Monday through Friday, this is when I'm going to work on this goal. Whether it's going back to school, whether it's working on a certification, whether it's going through a real estate course, like whatever your goal is, set aside your hours that you're going to do that. Because I feel like you can have 2 type of issues happen when you don't do that.
Talk about it.
Either you don't do it at all, because again, if you don't set it, I'm going to do it during this time, you're leaving it up to your emotions.
Intentions.
Yeah, right. If you don't set your intention, you're leaving it up to your emotions when you feel like doing it. And that's once in a blue moon that you might actually feel like doing it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Or you have the other side of the spectrum, which is what we were struggling with. And that is, yes, because of this one, the workaholic. And that is when there's no set business hours, then business hours are 24/7. And that just means we're talking about work. We're doing work all the time. So for us, we
on vacation,
for real. I had to give him a limit. All right, you got until 11 a.m. Wake up, do what you want to do. At 11 a.m., the itinerary of vacation commences. Is that the word? Commences. Thank you. But yeah, it's set your business hours so that, again, either whichever spectrum you're on, you can set the intention and get it done.
Love it. And again, you don't have to put in 40 hours towards your small business or your entrepreneurship journey. If you're putting in 1 hour per day, but you're clocking in, right, and you are working just like you worked that 9 to 5, you are working for that hour, you will start to make that slow and steady progress over a long time. So set your hours, something that's realistic, something that you can commit to, and go ahead and clock in. All right. Number 4, back to it. And if we have any entrepreneurs in here, let us know what business you started. But number 4 is use a notebook or planner to write down your annual, monthly, weekly, and daily goals. Write them down. I know we love our phones, we love our laptops, our iPads, we love all those digital things, but literally writing stuff down, there's something about the psychology of having the piece of paper, having that stagnant there, looking at it, that helps keep you accountable. So use your tools, use the paper, pen, pencil, mechanical pencil, Sharpie, marker. You can do a paintbrush if you're real artistic. Do what you want to do, but write it down some form or fashion for you to see it. Right. And then the last one is using automation, using technology, or it can be delegation to other people to do it, but everything doesn't have to fall on your shoulders. So how can you use technology to automate some of the things that you have to do? Queen, can you talk about Calendly and how that helps you save literally hours?
Yeah. So Calendly is a good tool if you need to set up appointments or calls or whatever with other people, that is a very good tool to avoid the back and forth. How does Monday work for you? No, I have, okay, well, what about Tuesday at 5 p.m.? Oh, actually, okay, well, what about 3 p.m.? That's a lot of energy going back and forth. So using Calendly, if you need to do anything with another person, makes life real easy because you put in your schedule and your availability, and all you need to do is send them the link and they can go in and book their spot. So for health coaching, that's what I've been using. And yeah, it saves down a lot of time. And you may think like, oh, it's not a big deal, I can just email them. That energy adds up. You got to conserve your energy for the important things that you need to get done. And setting a time with someone is important, but it's not something that should take that much energy out of you when you can automate it.
Right. Other things you can automate are like putting reminders into your phone or on your calendar that says, hey, remind me every morning to take my lunch to work, or remind me every night at 6 p.m. to write for 5 minutes on my next book or novel. Like, use your technology to also remind you of the habits that you're trying to do, especially at the early ages or early stages when it's not settled in yet, when it's not on that muscle memory subconscious level. Use your technology or other cues, which we'll I think talk about a little bit later. Use those cues in order to help build that habit for you. Right?
And I use it for food journaling because I talk about the power of food journaling, and it helps the mind body connection. So when I know I'm eating something and I'm like, okay, I want a food journal, today I want to document how this meal makes me feel, I'll set an alarm for an hour or two after that, because I know, especially like when I'm at work, I'm probably going to get into something that's going to take my attention away from it. So if I set the alarm, then it reminds me, oh, that's right, let me go back and write into my, make my entry or whatever. So rather than stressing about remembering, just automate it.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
Hey, Grandy.
What's going on, Queen Walker? Going on, Rumi, as Sinclair said. What's up, Rumi? So next one is sleep. I think this is the one that us entrepreneurs sometimes struggle with a little bit, and people in general, I think, also struggle with it. Queen, can you talk a little bit about the importance of sleep, but I also want you to nerd out a little bit, Sinclair. Let me bring it back. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Bring it back.
You said the
A
N-word.
little bit, okay?
You said the N-word.
Oh, goodness. Nerd time. But on like circadian rhythms and when people should be sleeping based on just science and the rhythm of our bodies.
Yeah, so first, to touch on why sleep is so important. And I think it's very underrated because it's typically the first thing we try to cut out when we're running short on time. And it really shouldn't be, because when we're thinking like college students, I just did a presentation and there was college students there. So I tailored the message to them because I know like all-nighters are a thing, right? When you think about college and you think, oh, I got a midterm and I still got some studying to do, I'm going to pull an all-nighter. Right. And then you pull the all-nighter, you get to the midterm, and your brain is mush because you haven't slept. So you're not even able to remember everything, right? You would have been better off at least getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and just you can at least recall the stuff you do know. Right. That's the same with life, right? Sometimes we're like, okay, let me just grind it out, let me stay up and I'll sacrifice some hours of sleep. Your effectiveness, your productivity. Did
you sleep last night? Let's talk about this, Sinclair. Hold up.
My sleep last night was not very good.
Perfect example. Exactly. Right. Let's get some good quality sleep for you tonight, Queen.
Your productivity is going to go down drastically with the lower amount of sleep. So even though you may be thinking you're getting more work done, it's probably more efficient for you to get that sleep and then take what would get you done. What would take 2 hours to do when you're sleep deprived would probably take you 30 minutes after a good night of sleep. So prioritize your sleep. On the circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms is basically like our body's alarm clock, and it has to do with external cues, external and internal. But so like when the sun rises, it touches your skin, you feel those UV rays, and that tells your body it's time to wake up. And then when the sun goes down, your body produces melatonin, and that tells you it's time to go to sleep. You actually get tired. So studies show that the best time, according to circadian rhythms, for folks to get sleep is from, or at least to get part of their sleep, is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's when most of us get the most deep sleep. And deep sleep is very important, again, for that restoration,
Yep.
filing away your memories, the immune system. Like there's a lot that happens in deep sleep. So if you can go to sleep by 10 p.m., you're going to be way better off than, going to sleep from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. You'll probably get a better sleep than if you went to bed at 2 a.m. and slept till noon, right? Even though it's a longer time period you're sleeping, you've missed those quality hours.
Quality, not quantity.
Quality, not quantity.
Yeah. I would also say we've started trying to be more intentional on going to sleep, right? Because there's been times in our lives, right? Not so much recently, but for sure in the span of maybe the last 2 years, where it's like you fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Right? You watching Squid Games, you watching Agents of Shield, Grey's Anatomy, whatever folks are watching these days, and you just keep watching it, and you fall asleep maybe at 9:30, fall asleep at 10, and you think that sleep counted. But because you woke up at 12 o'clock or woke up at 1 o'clock in the middle of your circadian rhythm, right? In the middle of that deep sleep, you just kind of gave your brain a little bit of trauma by waking up during that time. And now you're going back to sleep. You kind of missed a window of healthy sleep. So I would say go to sleep intentionally. If you can turn off TVs and whatever other sounds you might have, ideally, if you're a person that needs sounds, would you have some suggestions for sounds, or would you say keep the TV on?
Try like a white noise, something that's not as distracting, to train yourself to not need that noise. And I know that some of us may be conditioned from, and maybe the neighborhood you grew up in, having that sound. It may have just been I grew up with the TV, falling asleep to the TV. So it took me a while to condition myself to fall asleep in silence, but I was able to accomplish it. But I did start out doing like white noises, ocean
when we
sounds.
first met, she was doing ocean sounds.
I love the sound
sounds.
of water. It's very calming. So I was doing ocean sounds and rain. And I think that is fine, because to me, that's not going to wake you up in the middle of the night. Whereas TV, depending on what's happening, all of a sudden, was it NCIS or something like that comes on, and there's gunshots, like that's going to wake you up. And
Law and Order. Dun, dun.
Right. Like, even if you don't realize it's disrupting your sleep, it's probably disrupting your sleep. Not only the sound, but the light. Right, that light is emitting those rays that are also
tricking your body into thinking, is that the sun?
Right, right, for real.
All right, so get yourself some sleep if you're out there, even if you're hustling or if you're not hustling. Please intentionally get some sleep. That way you're out there, your body and brain are at full capacity, and you don't say words like predictability or whatever else. Productability, onomatopoeia, all that good stuff. All right, moving on. So there's a really good book, if y'all get the opportunity. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you don't have time to read the entire book, there's tons of YouTube videos. He's given tons of speeches. There's summaries, all that good stuff. But a good thing that he does in this book is at the end of each chapter, he has key points and summaries. So, to be real, you buy the book, you can read all the summaries and probably be good. Right. But this is a great book if you're trying to build up habits, right? If you're trying to accomplish any type of goal, if you're trying to switch up your body's behavior, and I don't want to go too far into it, I want to steal your thunder. But long story short, look up the book either again on YouTube or go ahead and get it on Amazon or your local bookstore. But Queen, can you talk about habit stacking? You came home excited one day, like, Devon, I learned about habit stacking. Did you know? I was like, yes, I did. But go ahead.
So I love the concept of habit stacking, and something that I use with like clients and things like that when they're like, oh, I want to work out more, or I want to eat healthier, but specifically with exercising, I love implementing habit stacking or meditation practices, anything that you're trying to do on a daily basis that you aren't already doing. I think the concept of habit stacking is a great tool. So if we could put up the graphic and I'll read through it. This is a little excerpt. I think it's a summary from one of his online articles. I don't know if it's straight from the book, but it says one of the best ways to build a new habit is to identify a current habit you already do each day and then stack your new habit or your new behavior on top. Rather than pairing your new habit with a particular time and location, you pair it with a current habit. Yeah. And that's, again, from the same author of Atomic Habits. Yeah. And the reason why I think this is powerful is because there are a lot of things we do, like you mentioned earlier, subconsciously that we don't even realize, right? You wake up and maybe the first thing you do is you brush your teeth. Or you wake up, maybe the first thing you do is go turn on the coffee machine so that you can get your coffee, right? You already are doing these things. So the best way to implement something, if you're trying to be consistent with it every day, is to stack your habit onto something you're already doing. So after I go and turn on my coffee machine in the morning, I drop down and do my 100 push-ups.
Hey.
Or before I eat lunch every day, I go take a walk around the block. Those are easy things because you're gonna eat lunch, you're gonna turn on that coffee thing. So pair it with something you either like or you just know that you're going to do. Pair it with that, and that will start to help with your consistency. So I really like the concept of habit stacking. I've used it for when we joined an accountability call. So I know I like to work out while I do my accountability call, and I don't. This was something. It's not technically, I guess, habit stacking because neither one of these were. Well, I guess I was working out before, but it had kind of fallen off, and I wanted to get that more consistent while I also joined this accountability call. So I kind of stacked those together and do them at the same time, and that's been pretty effective.
So there's this hormone that the cool kids are calling dopamine. You laughed more than I thought you were going to laugh on that. But another thing that habit stacking does is it kind of rides the coattail of dopamine, right? So if you have a habit in particular that you look forward to, right? It could be eating, it could be going on a vacation, it could be calling somebody on the phone, it can be a number of things that you find to be happy and pleasurable for yourself. You put another habit, right? A new habit that you're trying to accomplish in front of that goal, right? So I need to do 100 push-ups before I eat lunch. I need to write for 5 minutes before I have dinner. I need to write down my goals before I watch TV, right? Something that I know I want to do. So let me go in here. It is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. So literally by just setting yourself up to say, if I do X, I will get Y. That's already going to drive you towards the action. You're already like, okay, I can't wait to eat. Let me go ahead and knock out this 5 minutes. Ooh, I can't wait to spend time with my queen. Let me go ahead and read this one page of the book. It's the anticipation of the reward that's going to release the dopamine and get you to act and do that one habit. And then now dopamine is associated with this habit. But then once you get the reward, you also release even more dopamine as well. So it's kind of double reinforcing that new habit. Okay. Habit stacking. One of the key, there's a lot of good nuggets in here.
It's a great book.
It's a great one. One of the keys so y'all can really start to implement these wealthy habits in your life. Queen, anything else on habit stacking or atomic habits in general?
Just that it does not have to be a big thing. Like it can literally be, I mentioned 100 push-ups. It could be 5 squats.
Yeah, 2-minute rule.
Yeah, 2-minute rule. I remember that concept, but I don't remember the actual rule.
There was so much confidence in, the 2-minute rule.
And I was like, wait.
Oh, wait, hold on. Don't, he's going to ask me to define it. No, pineapples.
I'm not ready.
So the 2-minute rule is exactly what the queen was about to say. Let's say your big goal, right? The real goal is to do 50 bodyweight squats per morning. Your small goal should be what can you accomplish within 2 minutes, right? So it could be literally just putting on your shoes to do the squats. It could be doing 5 squats. If your goal is to walk around the house, it could be, or walk around the block. It could be to leave my house and lock the door. That's the goal. And then after that, it's almost like momentum.
Why not?
Will carry me, right? Because if you're already doing 5 bodyweight squats, I mean, not sure everyone's ability, but it's like you can go ahead and do 7. You can go ahead and do 6, right? If you're already out the house, you might as well at least walk down the block and come back. So by doing just the 2-minute rule and setting your mind, hey, I'm just going to do this, it almost sets you up immediately for that next step that can go right after that. Right? So again, really good nuggets in Atomic Habits. Definitely make sure you just at least watch a YouTube video on it. It's a good one. And maybe we'll do a whole video on just nuggets that we've taken from Atomic Habits. I think we should do those more often, just on a personal note, like read some good books and then do highlights of those books, even just for ourselves to know it later on. Because I'm pulling stuff from Atomic Habits for the Launch It book that I'm doing. Because it's like, I'm not going to make up habit stuff.
Right.
The genius already created it. I'm just going to go ahead and tell the people reading my book, hey, do these things that James Clear said you should do.
Right.
Boom.
And even him, he references even the habit stacking. He actually references, I don't remember the person's name, but that he didn't create that. He got that from someone else too. So it's literally just recycling, right? I'm not going to go read what that person said, but he did, and he's giving me the information. So that's the idea, right?
Love it. Love it. Okay. Habit stacking is a great one. Up next.
Grandy says, good suggestion. I usually put on the YouTube channel with heavy rain and thunderstorm for 10 hours. Nice. If you had that on your YouTube channel, I would be a regular user.
That's a good idea. Let's get some nature sounds in there, put it on there.
Yeah.
Or like a guided meditation. Ooh, which kind of leads us perfectly. I'll do this perfectly to the next topic, right? Which is mindfulness. And mindfulness in the sense of what are you putting into your body, but also mindfulness on what are you doing with your body and with your mind. Queen, as the health nerd, I feel like I should pass the mic to you. Any nuggets or tips, tricks that you have for people that want to practice mindfulness? I know box breaths are a big thing for you, but anything else you would suggest?
Yeah, breathing is a good way to start for anybody.
And live.
Yes. Intentional breathing is a good way to start for anybody. Unintentional breathing is happening all the time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But intentional breathing is a good way to start because you can focus on breathing, I'll say, quote unquote, the right way. But, but by that, I just mean by a way that puts you in a calm state. It triggers, through abdominal breathing.
Your parasympathetic nervous system.
There you go. Good job, Hope. Yes, it triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which puts you again in that calm state. It's like the brakes of the hormone system. So that's helpful, again, just to kind of pause, right? To work on the being in the present, because that's really part of what mindfulness is what am I doing right now? How am I feeling right now? What are my thoughts going through my head? Because if we've got a lot of things going on all the time, and it's hard, sometimes it's not always easy to stop and be like, how am I right now? What am I doing right now? Is what I'm doing intentional? Is this going towards my goal? How am I feeling? Am I eating because I'm hungry? Am I eating because I'm bored? All of that helps.
I used to definitely eat just because I was bored 100%.
Yeah, and I feel like especially if you're working from home, it makes it even easier because you got a full fridge right there. So yeah, mindfulness is a great breathing is a great way to start mindfulness. There's also meditation, but I started out just breathing, and that led me to kind of a more formalized meditation. But yeah, I think that's a good thing. But the other thing I wanted to mention is you mentioned consumption, right? That's another part of mindfulness, is being mindful of what you are consuming. So that could mean what you're scrolling through on social media. That can mean how much news you're watching on a daily basis. All of these things, being mindful of what you're consuming and how it makes you feel is also a very big part of mindfulness.
Right. Kind of piggybacking, I feel like something that I've fallen off of but gotten back on last week is doing my yoga and meditation. I only do it for 5 minutes, but for some reason in my head, I'm always thinking I don't have time. I don't have time. But then once I do it, I always feel better afterwards. And it's literally 5 minutes. And I feel like no matter what you're doing, I think you can make 5 minutes or 3 minutes to just breathe, 30 seconds to say an internal kind of affirmation or prayer for yourself, and it can literally change the pace of the day, right? So yeah, however you can intentionally be mindful of what you're putting inside your body, like the Queen said, the food, the news, the social media, what you're saying to yourself, what you're allowing other people to say to you, all of that affects yourself, right? I did a kind of a self affirmation the other day. I was just like, you are enough.
That's a good one.
It is a good one, right? And I said that 5-6 times, and I just felt really good after that. I was like, oh, thank you, Devon.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I feel like, especially as an ambitious person, it's easy to get into that mindset of I'm not doing enough, or I need to be this way in order to accomplish this goal. So yeah, I feel like that's if you resonate with that, if you got a lot of goals going on, a lot of things you're trying to do, that's a very good affirmation to no, but I am enough right now as I am. Yes, there's always room to grow, but I am enough right now. That's a good one.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Wayne. Okay, so we went through them all. We'll do a quick recap as best that we can. So, long story short, definition of wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. It is up to you to decide what you want to be wealthy in. A lot of people are shooting for money. If that is your bag, no problem at all. But it could be dance moves, it could be health, it could be people, it could be books, it can be art, it can be love. Literally, yeah, ooh, okay. So figure out what you want to be intentionally wealthy with. We have the definition of habit, which is
A settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up.
beautiful. So think
Message.
about message, right? Think about things that you have habits in, whether they're good habits and they're pushing you towards your goal, or they're bad habits and they're constantly pushing you backwards, further and further away from your long-term goals. Some wealthy habits that we suggested for folks are: one, to set your intentions, annual, monthly, daily, weekly. Be intentional about what you're doing with your time. Queen.
If you've got a 95, if you've got a 9 to 5,
I hope y'all ain't working 95 hours. I
Please.
pray y'all ain't working 95 hours.
If you've got a 9 to 5 and you're still trying to accomplish a goal, use your lunch break to learn something new. If you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to start a side hustle or start a side business or whatever that you want to become your main, or if it just is a side, is going to stay as a side hustle. Either way, utilizing your lunchtime is a very good tool to, again, implement these habits and get stuff done.
Yes, it is. You should also be, again, using a planner, using technology to remind yourself and setting these goals. You should also be automating. You should be making sure you are getting quality sleep on a daily basis. Take care of yourself. Deposit into your sleep bank of Z's. All right. You should also practice what?
Habit stacking, which is basically if you want to accomplish or adopt a new habit, tack it onto something you already doing. So making coffee, brushing your teeth, whatever it is, tack your new habit onto one you're already doing.
Beautiful. And last but not least, practice mindfulness, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Making sure that you are just breathing, being mindful of the stuff that you're consuming. If you're consuming the True Out Forever podcast, you're already being mindful, right? We try to give you your positivity, we try to affirm you, give you some good information. So make sure you are continuing to practice mindfulness.
You are enough.
You are enough. More than enough, right? Okay. Speaking of being more than enough, Queen, weekly updates. Anything you care to share with the folks? Any new things or opportunities that the community has?
Got another health coaching client.
Hey.
So excited for that. This will be my last week at my 9 to 5. So that's a lot of emotions surrounding that, but definitely excited to jump into everything we've got going on full time. Yeah, those are the main updates I got.
Dope. I'd love, again, setting intentions is pretty wild. It was a kind of a big, audacious goal for sure that we set towards the beginning of the year to free the queen. Yep. That was the theme of the year. That was the goal. And it still feels surreal that it's happening, but at the same time, it's like, this is exactly what we said we wanted to do. Right. We visualized this, and now it's happening. So literally, please be intentional. 2022 is literally peeking through the window like, hey, y'all ready for me yet? What's up? It's a
party, coach.
Right? Tap me in, coach. Oh, it's literally 2022 is right there. So please start thinking about what it is that you want to accomplish within that year. Set your intentions. Art of manifestation, go get it. For me, did our first launch it workshop. So the book that I'm working on, book that I'm working on right now is Launch It, geared towards specifically 9 to 5 entrepreneurs that are trying to either leave their business or leave their job or build a business while working their job. It's also kind of geared towards those college students as well. But I feel like Play Black Wall Street and Black Wall Street, the board game, has done a good job at teaching the youth right? But I want to also be able to teach those parents or teach other folks that may be a little bit older than 12 to 18, but still want this knowledge. So launched our first workshop, had some good folks come. Shout out to Josh, shout out to Jennifer, shout out to Miss K and everyone else that came through. Also had a survey go out. Thanks for filling out the survey, Queen.
Anytime.
But out of the entrepreneurs, we had about 22 people respond. Over 70% said that time management was the hardest part about starting a business, right? Which was kind of a surprise to me. There was money on there. There was fear of failure on there, which was over 50%. There was lack of experience, which was over 60%. So it's just good information for me to know as I'm writing this book, as I'm trying to figure out how this can be a useful tool for people. I need to know that time management is the number one thing that this book should definitely be talking about. So there's probably 2 chapters that would talk specifically about that. So long story short, that was a great one. I'm also open to the opportunity of being your business coach. So if you do have a business, you need an accountability partner, you need someone to help you map out what the next steps are. You need someone to help you go through the 7 steps to launch your business. You need some branding advice, help getting your domain, whatever it is. I got you. Go ahead and email coaching@playblackwallstreet.com. Limited. I'm not going to be taking too many clients because it's not my main thing, but I do feel like I can be a resource for folks. So I definitely want to make sure if you are interested, go ahead and hit me up and we'll get to work. All right. I think that is most of the updates. We got some good stuff in the works, in the cooking up, right? And True Health Forever, True Health Forever. We got big plans for 2022. It's going to be glorious. Queen. Legendary?
Dairy.
Is that's not the theme for next year? Not yet.
No.
2023, legendary might be the theme.
We're gonna do 1 year legend and the next year dairy.
We're gonna be that annoying people.
No.
Yes. Yes, we are. But that's something we do. We do need to confirm the theme for next year. We've talked about scaling. We've talked about monetizing. We've talked about monetize me. Which is kind of geared towards the podcast because we've been doing this for 85 episodes, but we need to figure out what's the business model going to be for the podcast. So if y'all have some suggestions, feel free to hit us up. Let us know. We always happy for some good ideas. Queen, are you good?
Good.
Good. All right. Oh, sorry. I apologize. One last thing. Y'all please give some good vibes and send some health to our man over here, Jair. He's feeling a little under the weather, still showed up, still being an excellent person. We appreciate you. But yeah, if everyone can please send good vibes and health to Jair, we would greatly appreciate it.
Last thing.
We never end in this podcast. I promise you. I promise you.
So the King talked about his coaching, but I also mentioned, right, I have another client. I am still accepting clients for health coaching. And, I am specializing a little bit in weight loss. That's where I'm going towards. Okay. But I can definitely help you accomplish really whatever your health goal is, whether it's trying to get more energy, trying to sleep better, improve your digestion, whatever it is, I can help you out. So you can also email me at coaching@truehealthforever.com and we can get started there. Or you can just reach out and see, can you help me?
The answer will be yes.
Yes, most likely. But yes, email that if you're interested in health coaching.
Beautiful. Well done, Queen. All right, beautiful people. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another amazing, intentional, wealthy, and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, a.k.a. the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.